Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing my January luxury beauty favorites. So before I get into the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that. And let's just get straight into the favorites. So I actually realized that I skipped my December favorites, probably just because it kind of all got bunched together with my yearly favorites. So I wanted to discuss some favorites that I came across in December as well. So these are just a bunch of products that I have been loving for the past 2 months. I'm going to start off in order of application. So the first product that I have been loving, and this is an old favorite, this is the Victoria Beckham. This is the Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. So I do have just the original shade, which is just, it comes out basically looking like a moisturizer. It's just white basically. You probably can't even see that on my hand. But when you blend it in, you just get a very soft sheen. It's a very subtle illumination. And I decided to test this one out because I actually bought the golden shade. I bought the bigger size in that, so that's the comparison. I just wanted to try the golden just because while I do enjoy this, sometimes I just like to have more of a tint on my skin because then I feel like I don't require foundation over top. Like currently I do work at home. I am not going back into the office right now. So I like using products like this on a daily basis where I can just go in and then put a little bit of concealer on. And I have just been loving this product for that. But this just gives you a very soft tint to your skin. It's hardly noticeable. It does not look like makeup, but it really perfects the skin slightly. It adds a really soft focus effect. It's a very soft blur effect to the skin. So I feel like that I don't require any more perfecting products over top, for example, like foundation. But I do like to go in with a little bit of concealer just because it doesn't cover any pigmentation or anything like that. It really just softly, ever so softly evens out the skin. It's less coverage than even like the Chanel Water Fresh tint. So this is definitely great for those no makeup days. But not only that, this is just a really soothing primer on the skin. So another thing, it's kind of ironic actually because I tried out the Victoria Beckham. This is the Cheeky Posh sticks. And while I think that they're nice, unfortunately they give me a reaction on my skin. And if you've ever had a reaction before, you know that your skin just feels a little raw and sensitive and it's not really that fun to deal with. But this primer, actually, I was using it as a moisturizer as well because it really just soothed my skin and my skin felt really comfortable. And when you are experiencing texture on your skin, sometimes you need a barrier to go over top if you are applying foundation, just because it can be a little rougher, it can be a little dry, and this just acted as a perfect base for that. Like I said, there is a perfecting aspect to this primer. While it's not going to add a lot of coverage or anything like that, it just softly blurs the skin and perfects, which made it a great base to apply my foundation over top. And it really helped me out while I was dealing with that sensitive area on my skin. So I have just been really enjoying this primer. And then the foundation that I have just been loving this month. So I recently did a review on this foundation. This is the Dior Capture Totale. This is the super potent serum foundation. I picked mine up in the shade 3N. So it just comes in this glass bottle. And it does come with a pump dispenser. And I think this is the perfect shade for me. But I just love this foundation so much. I've actually been testing it for a few weeks now. That review that I did was a full review. It was not a first impression. I've been wearing this on pretty much a daily basis. I even tested this out at the gym because I go to the gym before work in the morning. And so I put this on bright and early because I was like, I'm going to test this out at the gym. We also have to wear masks, and this held up extremely well. And I was still able to wear it for the full day after that and have no issues of separation or fading or anything like that. I just think that this foundation is superb. It is blended, it is outstanding. This is a game changer foundation in my luxury beauty collection just because of how it looks on the skin. It is so beautiful. It leaves your skin looking very soft focused. It is so comfortable on my skin. And again, when I was dealing with that reaction, this did not emphasize any texture on my skin. So it does a great job of blurring and just perfecting the skin, but it's perfecting on the skin without having a ton of coverage. I would say this is about a medium coverage if you apply like 2 pumps of the foundation. So it is buildable, but you can get a lighter coverage. And it's just so lovely on the skin. If you haven't tried this out, I highly recommend it because this is just becoming a favorite foundation in my entire collection. And I've also had people question or ask for comparisons between this and the Chanel Sublimage that I always talk about. And I like to say about the Sublimage foundation that it's just such a chic and elegant foundation. And I'd say this one is extremely similar. If I was comparing any of my foundations in my collection, I'd probably say those two are the most similar. But for me, this one is less radiant than the Chanel Sublimage and has a little bit more coverage. And I just think has a bit more of that blurring capability. And I don't even feel like I need to actually set this foundation down with powder at all, even at the end of my makeup application, because it just looks so poreless and blurred on the skin without adding powder on top, which is just lovely. It lasts all day long for me. This has fantastic longevity. It doesn't ever settle into creases or pores or anything like that. So I really think you would enjoy this if you had mature skin as well. This is just becoming a holy grail foundation. So I have just been loving this all month long. Usually I don't like talking about makeup that is super new, and I did just do a trying new makeup with this product. But honestly, since I have done that video, these are just products again that I have kind of been nonstop wearing. And the next item is the Sisley Phyto-Éclat. This is the eye concealer with botanical extracts. I picked mine up in the shade 2. So it just comes in this little tube and it has that squeezy packaging. So it's not my favorite packaging, but I don't care because this concealer is so fantastic. If you're someone that struggles with dark circles, or maybe your major concern is your under eyes, this is such a great concealer. This does have more coverage than my Cle De Peau, the correcting pen that I really, really love. So this gives me more coverage and it does a better job of canceling any dark circles that I may have. What I also love about this is that you do not need to set it down with powder, because I typically just don't enjoy setting my concealer down with powder just because it's an extra step, and if you apply too much product on your under eyes, it's going to become extremely noticeable. So if I can get away with not powdering, then I prefer to do that. And this is just flawless on the under eyes. If you want flawless looking under eyes, this is the way to go. It is beautiful. And because it is a fuller coverage concealer, that is why I didn't think I would use it that often. I thought I would reserve it for like weekends if I had plans or if I was going out or something. But I've just been reaching for it every day, even though it is a bit fuller coverage. Now, it's not too full coverage where it looks cakey or heavy. It just gives great coverage, but it never looks heavy on the under eyes. It actually looks extremely natural if you only use a small amount of product. But I'm just so happy with how it looks. But if I want an extra perfected look, I would take this and just go on my under eyes to conceal. And then I would add a brightening effect with the Cle De Peau Radiant Corrector for under eyes. Just a little bit under here and probably in the corners of my eyes here, just to add that brightness back to my eyes. So that's something that I'd reserve, again, for like weekends or if I was going out or had maybe more of a special occasion when I want to put that extra step into my makeup. But I have just been super happy with this concealer. It doesn't crease, it doesn't settle into any fine lines on the under eyes as well. It just remains that beautiful level of coverage all day long. It just remains very consistent all day. So I've been really enjoying this. And I did forget to mention, I will be doing a get ready with me using all these products so you can see them in action. Usually I like to do a video where I talk about the products and then a video where you can see them in action, just because I know some people have preferences on what they want to watch, or they want to watch both. So that is what I will do after this video. But moving on to bronzer. The bronzer I have been loving, and this is just a sad bronzer. And it's sad because of how it looks when I open the packaging. This is the Sisley Phyto-Touche Sun Glow Bronzing Gel Powder. And because I love that Sisley concealer so much, it inspired me to pull this back out. Now, you can see it is kind of broken on the edges here because I did take it traveling long ago. And then it broke, and obviously I just have used it so much that I have hit pan in the middle. It's just a mess, and I should probably pick up a backup, but because this is so expensive, I just want to try and use a little bit more of it. And I do have the old packaging that is silver, and now it is gold, but it is still the exact same bronzer. They didn't reformulate it, they just changed the packaging. But this bronzer is so stunning. It is a baked gelée, and if you have watched my channel, you know how much I love a baked gelée. So this is definitely a warm tone bronzer, but I love a baked gelée bronzer, again, because they apply on the skin so seamlessly. You can go in with a lighter application and just get a very natural looking bronzer, but these products are also extremely buildable, so you can get a bit more of a bronze look, but when you build this product up, it never becomes heavy, it never looks powdery, it never looks cakey, because when you feel these, they almost feel like a powder to cream product. They go on with that ease of application like a powder would, but they melt into the skin like a cream product would, but they're way easier to use than like a cream product would. And I just love this tone. I love this tone because it is a warmer bronzer. I prefer a warmer, more golden tone bronzer. And this does have a very subtle sheen to it. Now I can't detect any shimmer particles or anything like that, but it does have a very soft glow to it. And I like when my bronzers have a bit of a glow. I like something in the middle. I don't like anything that's too matte, but I don't want anything with a shimmer. So I like it to have a very soft sheen, and this has just that. And it's enough of a sheen, again, that gives you a very much like a skin-like glow, because obviously someone's skin isn't completely matte. You do have a little bit of radiance and glow to your skin. So it gives me that very natural, lit from within, sun-kissed look. But it's not too shimmery where it's going to emphasize texture or look heavy or anything like that. So this is just a fantastic bronzer. And then another bronzer I just want to quickly mention, this is the Guerlain Terracotta in the number 03 medium warm. So I am still playing with this bronzer because I just picked it up, even though I do have another color in this formula. And I just want to say I love this bronzer so much. It reminds me of the Sisley in the amount of sheen and kind of the warm tone it has. So I'll do a swatch. This Guerlain bronzer is also extremely buildable, but it's not a big shade. It's just a straight up powder formula. So there's the swatch of the Guerlain, and you can see their tones are quite similar. I'd say the Guerlain is a little warmer in tone, the Sisley, but they're very similar in the amount of glow that they have. But this one is really nice because it is just a straight up powder bronzer, so you can just apply it like a powder. This one you have to go in with like a denser brush, so you need to be particular about what brush you're using with this product. This one you can just pick up with any old brush and apply it like a regular bronzer. I have been really enjoying that, so I wanted to mention that one as well. And then for blush, oh my gosh, I can't say enough about how much I love this blush. This is the Cle De Peau blush in 105. So it comes with two separate shades, as you can see, and it comes with this beautiful terracotta shade, and then this really lovely brighter peach shade. My favorite way to actually use these is just to mix them back and forth because I think the combo together is really beautiful. But another way I like to utilize this blush is to apply this as a base color, so just apply it all over the cheeks. And then you can just use this shade as a pop of color just onto the center of the cheeks, just because this shade right here has a bit more of a sheen than this one. But this formula from Cle De Peau is amazing. There is the terracotta shade there and then the peachy shade. They're just very neutral on the cheeks, so I love to use this on an everyday basis because I really like your cheeks but better kind of cheek shade. And this gives me that. You can pair it with any eye look, any lip color that you want as well because it is so neutral. And what it does is it just really enhances your natural glow. It enhances your cheeks. It makes your skin look better when you apply it. And I really enjoy that because sometimes if a blush has a bit too much sheen, I just find it emphasizes texture on the skin. But this doesn't. Cle De Peau has like a magical formula where anything that you apply just refines the appearance of pores and texture on your skin, and it really makes your skin look better. But it's very natural. I feel like Cle De Peau is very thoughtful in their releases. They're very particular about their formula, and I think this looks beautiful on the skin. It has been a blush that I can't put down because I just love how it looks every single time. It is beautiful. The formula is impeccable. And when you feel it, it's so finely milled and refined, the formula, that it feels like you're touching a fabric. That is how soft this formula is and just how beautifully made it is. It's lovely. So if you guys haven't tried the Cle De Peau blushes, highly recommend that. And I also wanted to mention, I really love this Cle De Peau cream blush. This is in the shade 3. Now, I did the full face of Cle De Peau and meant to use this, but I totally forgot. So I just wanted to mention it in this video because this is my favorite cream blush of all time. I was hoping that the Victoria Beckham blushes would work for me, but nothing so far has been able to compete with the Cle De Peau blushes for me. I really like them because they are one of the only formulas that I've tried that you can actually apply over powder and have them still look really natural and beautiful, and they still look good. A lot of times when you apply a cream blush over powder, it does look a little heavy and it starts to emphasize texture just because those two products aren't really meant to mesh together. But for some reason, the Cle De Peau blush really works well over top of powder, under powder, and it has great longevity for a cream blush. And it's a cream blush that never emphasizes texture. It is not sticky. It doesn't settle into any lines or anything like that. It never feels tacky. Your hair won't get stuck in it throughout the day. This just does a great job of just refining the look of your skin when you apply it, which is really great for a cream blush as well, because usually cream products can emphasize texture a little bit, but this doesn't at all. It is my perfect cream blush. Now highlighter, I wonder if this will be a surprise. This is the Hermes Permabrass. This is the powder highlighter. So this was released, I don't know, like a few months ago. I think it was for the holiday collection. And this is limited edition. So if you haven't tried this out, I would highly recommend getting your hands on this. This is just such a stunning highlighter. Now this is more intense than like my Chanel highlighter that I really love. And oh, can you just see that sheen? It is so shiny and beautiful on the skin. It is just such an elegant highlighter formula. There are no glitter particles or anything like that in this formula. It is just a very continuous sheen that looks very glowy on the skin. It really enhances your skin as a highlighter. And while it is intense, it doesn't emphasize texture on the skin. It just makes your skin look better, truly. It makes you look like you have a very healthy glow. It gives that kind of wet, glossy effect on the cheeks. And it's so shiny, but because the formula is so smooth and so refined and so finely milled, it's not going to emphasize any texture on the skin. It actually enhances your skin, which is great when you can find a highlighter that is both intense but gives you that still really shiny, glossy effect that's not going to enhance texture on the skin. And again, it is a baked gelée formula, so it's just going to meld right into your skin. It's going to look completely seamless and just glossy and beautiful. So really recommend this highlighter if you are someone who likes that really seamless effect and you like your highlighters to melt into the skin. Now my favorite powder for the month, and please let me know if you guys like to see me re-mention products. I don't want to be annoying if I keep on mentioning the same products month after month, but this is truly just my favorite powder, and I don't want to rotate it, and I don't want to just mention a powder just to mention a powder, because this one is truly my favorite. So I hope you guys don't mind that, but please let me know if you do. This is the Cle De Peau Refining Press Powder. This is just my go-to powder on an everyday basis. When I want my skin to look poreless and flawless and blurred, it just makes your skin look so much better when you apply this, but it's not going to add pigmentation. It's not going to add coverage. It's just going to add this veil of perfection. It almost just adds a veil of like an Instagram filter onto your skin, but without adding texture or anything. It's just such a beautiful powder. Highly recommend this if you haven't tried this out. Moving on to the eyes. So I have a lot of favorites. I want to quickly mention the By Terry Bonjour Paris palette. This is the VIP Expert palette. It was released for the holidays, and I'm not sure how much longer it will be available. I am still testing this out, but I have been using it for about 2 weeks now, and I just love every look I've created with it. It's very neutral. I just find this so easy to use. Every time I use it, I feel like my eye makeup looks beautiful, but it never looks overdone. It never looks over the top. This is makeup that I can wear for any occasion on any day, and it just always looks pretty and beautiful, and it looks like me but enhanced. I'm just really happy with this formula. It has one of those formulas that just kind of like melts right in. It never looks heavy. It never emphasizes texture, even though these are all more shimmery shades. So I wanted to mention that even though I've only been playing it for about 2 weeks, I will definitely follow back up, but I have been really enjoying this. And then for a one and done, I've been using the Victoria Beckham. This is the lid luster in the shade Honey. So these are just single eyeshadows. I don't know if you can tell the dent that I've put in that, but I really enjoy this. Again, if I just want a quick, easy breezy, everyday makeup look, I just apply this. It's a great one and done shadow that I think is beautiful because it's a really nice neutral bronze tone, and it's not too dark, it's not too light, it's that perfect medium, and then it's not too cool tone, it's not too warm tone, it's perfectly neutral, and this has a really nice sheen to it. Some of her other lid lusters I think are more sparkly. Now there is a little bit of sparkle in this, but it's very refined and it's a very elegant shimmer. So it's not going to look too obnoxious or too over the top. It almost looks like a glossy lid effect, but it does have some sporadic shimmer particles in it. It's not like completely continuous. So I would recommend, if you are using these, to do your eyes first, because you will have a little bit of fallout. And it has, like I said, a little bit of sparkle, but it's not too much that you can't wear it on an everyday basis. Because it is just really sophisticated on the eyes. This is my #1 favorite. If you are only going to pick up one product, make it this one, because this is one of the best palettes that I have ever tried in my entire collection. This is the Chanel number 747 Méditerranéen. This is the multi-effect eyeshadow that is limited edition. There are not enough words to describe how much I love this. I actually picked up a backup because I noticed it was just selling out everywhere like crazy. I think the only place you can get this now is Chanel, and it is on back order, so if you wanted this, I would get it as soon as you can. It's sold out everywhere in Canada, and then it just happened to pop up at Shoppers Drug Mart, so I quickly snatched up a backup because I just don't want to be without this eyeshadow quad in my collection. That's how much I love it. And again, these are Big Chili shadows, so you can use them wet and dry. All of these shades work beautifully if you just want to apply one at a time as a beautiful one and done. You can actually get quite a few different looks from this palette, even though looking at it, you might think that you are very limited into the looks that you can create. And I like that all of these kind of have a different finish to them. So this one has a bit more sparkle to it. It actually reminds me quite a lot of the Victoria Beckham lid luster in the amount of shimmer that it has. But again, it's very elegant and sophisticated on the eyes. And then this one has a bit less shimmer than this one here, but it does have a bit of that sporadic shimmer shining throughout it. And then this one, again, just has a beautiful sheen. It's not as shimmery as these two here. And this one is just glossy eye effect. It just reminds me of that red carpet glam because there are no detectable shimmer particles in this one here. And it just gives you a lovely sheen to your eyes. And all these shades, they just meld into the skin. This might be my #1 favorite eyeshadow palette of all time. I just love the shades of this. Perfectly neutral, so some might think that's boring, but to me, that's something I'm gonna reach for on an everyday basis. This I can use for any occasion and be extremely happy with my eye look. I love that I can use them wet for more opacity. I can get a bit more pigmentation when I use them wet, but I can also use them dry and get beautiful looks as well. It is so chic, elegant, sophisticated. I love the natural glam looks that I can create out of this. I just feel like it's beautiful makeup because it is you but enhanced. It's nothing too overwhelming or distracting or over the top. So really been loving this. Seriously, if you can get this, I would try and get your hands on it because this is a palette that, again, I have a backup of. So if that doesn't tell you how much I love this eyeshadow palette, I don't know what does because I just am obsessed with it, and I don't use the word obsessed lightly. So another product from the Chanel Spring Summer collection that I have just been really loving is the Rouge Coco Baume. This is the shade 912 Dreamy White. So you can see it looks super boring. It looks like it is just a stick lip balm essentially, but no. It does have a bit of color payoff to it. So while you may think this just goes on clear, it doesn't. It actually leaves a slight, it's not a white cast, but it adds a bit of milkiness to your lips. So when you apply it, it adds that nice plumped effect because, again, it's lightening up your lips. So I love to use this with the deeper lip shades or even lip liners because a lot of the time I like to just apply a lip liner and then I'll just usually apply a gloss over top. But a lot of lip liners are a tad too deep for what I like to, they're just like a Your Lips but better, but just a little bit too deep for me. So I can lighten up my lip color by just using this. And it just makes my lip liner feel really comfortable, so then I don't need to go on with a gloss over top. It lightens up my lip color ever so slightly and just adds, it's such a great formula too because it sits on the lips really beautifully. So if you have any dry lips or anything like that, it just smooths right over and it adds a little bit of hydration, not too much. It's not going to leave your lips looking glossy or anything like that. And I just feel like it looks so good over your lips. It almost like adds a blurring effect to your lips. And then this also inspired me to pull out some more Chanel lip colors. So I decided to pull out the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash in the shade number 54 Boy. Now, it really reminded me to pull this out because I wanted to compare the two. These are very, very different, so they're going to add value to your collection because they're totally two different formulas. And the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash, this is the shade Boy. That's all I can wind it up because I clearly need to get a backup of this because that's all I have left of this. This is just such a great neutral nude shade that I love, again, on an everyday basis because I can apply it and it's just so comfortable all day long. This is a lip product that when I apply it, my lips feel better at the end of the day when I've had this on. And in comparison to the Rouge Coco Flashes compared to the Balms, this is much more glossy. This is almost like a lip gloss in a stick. while this is a balm. So you are going to get a more glossy effect. So these are going to look shinier on the lips as well. But that is everything for my January favorites this month. Please let me know what you have been loving from the month of January down below. I would love to know because, as always, I would love to try out some of the products that you have been loving. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.